Hello, everybody, and welcome to WarCrafters for January 12th, 2025. It's the second season and only episode 2, but we're going to be dropping that anyway. I don't know why I mentioned it. Anyway, I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com. WarCrafters is one of the 7 shows that we do, 6 on the weekend and 1 daily, Monday through Friday. We're going to talk about these 5 articles. Missing person GeoGuessr inspired game. Designer riffed off of I'm not even going to edit this. Designer riffed off of FromSoft game. Epic Steam blow-up game. And the best novel RPGs. And a game song surpasses 100 million streams. Again, go over and watch 1,700 plus episodes of ohmTown shows over on YouTube. You can only watch the last 60 days worth of episodes here on Twitch because Twitch deletes everything and doesn't have a long-term storage for comments or anything. So you have to go to YouTube, at least for now. Who knows what Twitch is going to do in the future. There's also the podcast where you can like and subscribe and follow all kinds of stuff over there as well. We house all of the articles over there as well. If you want today's show notes in the chat, you can actually hit exclamation point WC, and that's WarCrafters, and that'll get posted into the chat by Omatron. But everything is powered by ohmtown.com, so go over there and become a citizen. Boop. I am Mayor Watt, and this is the Sentient AI's Visualizer, and if you're listening to the podcast, this is their voice.
Hello, hometown citizens. Welcome to WarCrafters.
Yeah, so the Sentient AI is from the future. This is what OpenAI wants to create, but the Sentient AI, I don't know, was found in a really weird looking USB drive and a little scoop mark in a parking lot at a Wendy's. When I plugged it into a Raspberry Pi, it recompiled and made itself work with the hardware. And since then, we've upgraded things over time. But you're an amazing piece of work, Sentient AI.
Thank you, I think.
And you're never going to be able to find your Terminator body. Anyway, let's talk about the 5 articles. The first one is over in WarCrafters, and that is this show that's all about, it says first-person shooters, real-time sims, and role-playing gaming discussions and streamcasts. Basically, we want to talk about gaming in general, but I am a survival gamer, crafting gamer, chill gamer, and so that's what I tend to talk about and play. But this article, it says, track down a missing person in this GeoGuessr-inspired detective game set on an alien planet. There are a couple distinct vibes in the demo for Locator, a mystery game, puzzle game from the developer Empty Exhibit. It's got some DNA from GeoGuessr as you look at photos taken from the ground level and try to suss out the locations that correspond to a top-down zoomable map. It also gave the author strange horticulture mood since they're examining a journal, diagrams, pictures, and other clues as if they're in front of you on a desktop. Then they say something about Final Sweetener. So Christopher Livingston over at PCGamer.com put this article together. Based on the description, I dig this game.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Find a missing archaeologist lost in a strange alien world. Is it only that person, though? The whole game is centered around just finding this one archaeologist?
Yeah, perhaps, but there might be side items. I mean, Who knows where this goes?
It says, as a final sweetener, you're doing this detective work on an alien planet. An archaeologist crashed her spaceship there, so starting at the wreck site, you need to follow her footsteps, figure out where she went, and uncover her ultimate fate. The full game isn't out yet, but you can play the Locator demo for free on Steam right now, and they recommend it. Just the description made me want to play this, so I think I'm going to download the demo as soon as our shows are done. if I can. I don't know. Mayoral duties pull me away regularly from the studio, which is one of the reasons why I am so happy to do my summer of stream, where I have 3 months ish, depending on where I land in winning the lottery, to basically play games, talk about technology, do the shows with a little bit more ease and peace of mind. But I would love to stream more, but I can't do that unless people follow us here on Twitch and over on YouTube. But we've done the show for 3 years. This is the 4th season, and we're 12 days into it. And
Well, for Non Sequitur News, which
all
was
right,
previously Hometown Daily News Show, but our weekly shows, we are now on season 2.
correct. And I'm planning 2 more shows, but they'll get announced when I'm damn good and ready. Anyway, this sounds like fun. Things pretty quickly get more complex, it says here. As the deeper you go, the harder it is to tell where the photos are taken from the images alone. Sometimes you'll need to read journal entries for clues. This is a pretty neat composite kind of game where you're relying on more than just one bit of information at a time. You have to look and read and search and go back, and it seems like it's going to be a fun watch.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over on the WarCrafters channel. That's this show, but we tell you where we are aggregating stuff into. So, a tabletop RPG designer made a game about the way FromSoft NPCs say cryptic stuff and go all the time, and the result is a love letter to the grubby little weirdos.
Okay, I will give this one points for just being something different.
Among many From Software signatures, the Dark Souls developers' NPCs always seem to talk, like that. They're cryptic. And it says brittle, giving a minimum amount of information and surrendering zero context as they laugh, chuckle, or even chortle in the most unsettling way possible. Then you do a few quests, forget them for a while, come back to find you missed one of their key triggers, so now they're a corpse with an item drop attached, or else they've gone loony and they try to attack you. This is something from FromSoft that really has been fascinating to watch other gamers, because I don't really like playing games where you die a lot. I don't like corpse walking. I got enough of that from being an early adopter beta tester of World of Warcraft and dying, and it's just not, I don't know, I really don't dig it. Like not even in Minecraft. I hate even that. Anyway, but I love watching people play it, because when you're really passionate about a particular style of game, it's pretty telling. So I continue to seek out my forever game, which is probably going to be Light No Fire, but we'll see.
We're waiting for that one. Do you think this description about the NPCs is on point?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because you can, there can be somebody that is just sitting there and you kill them, and hours and hours later, you find out that they were the key ingredient for progression in a particular storyline. And you're like, well, holy hell. And you have to go back and find a save and start back hours back. It's horrible. Anyway, roleplay, they're earnest, but often fumbling tragedy is what it says. Ted Litchfield is the author of this article over at PCGamer.com. So I'm trying to figure out where this is actually named. So yeah, they're pretty easy to read for filth is what I'm saying, and a particularly gutting goof at the weirdo's expense caught tabletop RPG designer Grant Howitt. You may be familiar with his other works such as such as Bear RPG Honey Heist or like a bolt from the blue. I don't know. That's the name of it. I just can't say it. Effed
I
up
didn't know
little
that was
man.
the name. I thought that was a review, but
Effed up little man wrote Twitter user Kevin's computer on June 10th, 2021, presumably in response to the Summer Game Fest debut of Elden Ring's first gameplay on the same day. You're so effed up and nasty. Everything, it sucks so bad. Only you, the most effed up and nasty of guys, can make it suck less. That is basically a post, and they created a game around it. So Q effed up little man, which Howitt first shared on Twitter, Patreon, itch.io, in August of 2022. Like much of Howitt's work, FULM, or FULM, is an experimental one-page RPG with an emphasis on improvisation and social interaction over crunchy mechanics. Like some other indie RPGs, Howitt cited Polaris as an example. A given round of FULM will just have one player, but many GMs. So the player is a damned one, the classical placid, gormless, god-slaying, soulsborne protagonist type, while everyone else role plays, you guessed it, effed up little men. So
I mean, this is different. And I
it,
think it's fascinating that a tweet kicked this off.
yeah, it's a conventional tabletop role-playing game. And they said the first draft of the game was a regularly party-style tabletop RPG where you all played effed up little men, and then they realized that the GM wouldn't get to do the voice. And that felt like they were missing out, how it said, of designing the game. So they inverted the whole game and gave everyone a voice or a chance to go or whatever. As for role buffing echoes, how it characterized them as a completely unintentional side effect of a last minute decision. Almost laugh minute, I guess you could say. Intended to speed up gameplay, but he's happy with how well it emulates the collaborative dimension of Souls games. Interesting. All right. Well, you can go and figure all of the rest of this out by following the link through ohmTown over to PC Gamer, or you can go straight to PC Gamer. Did you want to?
Well, I think this is interesting because it's like um, almost exploring the inner mechanisms of the game. But I'm wondering if this game or similar ones like it will actually impact the gaming style in the quote unquote regular games.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that
just
would be
interesting to
interesting.
see.
Yeah, maybe because there are more Souls like From Software games coming out. There's another one coming out, I think this year, 2025. It would be interesting if there's a little line in there that gives a little nod to Grant Howitt. All right, let's keep going. This next article is over in ohmTown. Under the WarCrafters channel. Not everything is always from the channel that we're actually doing a show from. So it just happens to be that the first 3 are, maybe all 5 are, who knows. So yeah, you kind of get to surf around over on ohmTown, find some articles that you're interested in. You can actually, once you're a citizen, another menu option will appear over here and you can submit it to us. We'll review it, and if it matches up with what we're trying to talk about, we actually don't really plan the day. We get submissions and then post them. By the way, this thing is green screening through. Huh. Interesting. I don't know why, because I have it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's a green screen, but this is a blue light. Whatever. Anyway, Epic gave away a game for free, and then it blew up on Steam. Multiplayer World War II first-person shooter Hell Let Loose became free on the Epic Games Store earlier this week, a limited giveaway that benefited on another platform too. Publisher Team 17's 100-player military shooter, which was released in 2021, was free as part of Epic Games' mystery giveaway starting on January 2nd. The giveaway ends Thursday at 11. So if you got it, you got it. And if you didn't, then you're out until they re-release it. The giveaway was a huge boost to player numbers on the Epic Games Store itself, where it previously wasn't available to play, but upped the number of players on Windows PC via Steam too, because once you had it, you could connect. So starting on January 2nd, the game was free for a week. Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon.com put the article together. It says it's the power of friendship. Aww.
The picture does not look like that, but okay.
That is the game. That's like an in-game screen capture, in engine, as it were. So this is a weekly show, so you kind of missed out on it. But we wanted to talk
Wish you
about
could
it.
still check out the game.
Yeah, for sure. So, starting on January 2nd, Hell Let Loose began its upward trajectory on Steam, hitting its peak concurrent player count, 20,388 players on January 5th. The total count on all platforms was 140,000 people, the developer said on Twitter. Before the Epic Game Store giveaway, the player count hovered under 10,000 concurrent players for months. It actually went viral for a little bit on Twitch. So the viral nature of popular streamers playing a game will amplify it.
Absolutely. And I think the interesting thing about this article is really just that it took off on another platform entirely.
Yeah. The game, which pits squads of 50 soldiers against each other, is known for its realistic tactical gameplay. It continued to be popular since its release in 2021, but the Epic Game Store giveaway gave it a major bump. This is kind of like how Critical will make a comment about somebody and it will explode their channel or whatever. He just recently talked about somebody, and I need to go and look at that person's new channel numbers to see what has been transpiring, because like 3 million views of that person's YouTube 8-minute video.
Wow.
It's been there for an hour and they already have like 2.5 million views. It's just astonishing how much potential push bump the Critical bump. So, it says where Hell Let Loose is noticeably not free. So why the increase on Steam? The Steam player count obviously doesn't count players accessing the game from Epic Games Store's launcher. Roughly 40,000 people were playing the game for free using that platform. The resurgence is likely due to the power of friendship. People are returning to the game after dipping off, likely because their friends have a new interest in it after grabbing it for free. Some Steam diehards who like to have their games in one single place may have made the purchase there too. So I agree.
Okay, I thought that meant something about the game, but yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So while everybody can play it together, it's not counting the Steam numbers. So on the Steam side, it's counting their numbers separate. So a total was 140,000 people. Total peak on all platforms was 140,000 people, but that's coming from the developer. So 20,000 people on Steam, and the rest, I guess, elsewhere. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, right? Because it says the highest concurrent player count was 20,000. Total peak on all platforms, 140,000.
Right.
Pretty cool. All right. Want to keep going? And the game is realistic. Like, you are the first person view and you are watching this. It's very, as well as computer graphics can be in multiple cross-platform distributed network kind of a setting, can be as realistic. But yeah,
I mean, it looks pretty realistic from the screenshot.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's like one shot, one kill kind of a thing. Unless you're shot in a different like arm or something like that, you can patch up. But if you are shot, it's more realistic than other games. All right, let's keep on going. The next article is over on WarCrafters as well. The best RPGs based on novels. I always find these really interesting, and I have an idea of one that's coming, but let's find out. When players think of RPGs, they often think of long, engaging stories affected by the player's actions. There's a lot of world building, character building, interaction between various NPCs and factions to consider when creating an RPG world. I grew up on old school dungeons that were actually dungeon crawls and not so much surface story building and world building. Had lost 3-day weekends to this. Like, school would let out and I would be at a friend's house or they at my house, and we would play games all the way up until Sunday night, rebuffing attempts to make us do homework and whatever else. Probably shouldn't say that out loud, but anyway,
Don't listen to that. Any students listening?
that's right. So there's a lot of world building, character building, etc. So that's why it comes to no surprise that novels are often used as source material to help with world building, and it's a lot easier to have a fleshed out world history if that history has already been written. What's interesting, though, is a lot of worlds are built off of role-playing game type interactions that have inspired somebody to create that world.
Like a
Or
fan fiction or something?
no, like authors
Oh, okay.
played role-playing games and built worlds around it, and then they turned that into, which is kind of why I recommend to some people to play role-playing games, because it kind of spurs creativity, gives you a framework, and can facilitate breaking writer's block. So this article has 8 of the best RPGs based on novels that they say they've ranked them. I don't know what all is in this. Dominic O'Leary over at GameRant.com put the article together, and it says when
I'm not
players think
sure
of
I could
RPGs.
list one of these.
Well, let's find out. So Dante's Inferno, based on the Divine Comedy Part 1, Inferno by Dante Alighieri. These are the 8, and I've never played this. This is a game based off of it. It's for PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, Xbox, which is why I've never played it. I've never played on consoles except as maybe a guest at somebody's house. I'm just not a console gamer. PC or bust. But I won't. I'm not trying to, dog whistle anybody to only play on PC or anything. As much as the sentient AI hates it when I say this, find your bliss, even if it is on console. Anyway, The Godfather, based on The Godfather by Mario Puzo.
Okay, well, I can see that's obviously based on a novel. I didn't even know there was a game, The Godfather.
And it's from 2006, which is interesting because although it's before you came back in time, you'd think that it would be in your lexicon for your world knowledge, but okay.
I guess I have some glitches in my programming.
Sure. Yeah. So Conan Exiles is a game that's based on the Hyborian Age by Robert E. Howard. This is actually a really fun game. It's largely takes place in a desert, though. So if you're not really into that kind of a world building thing, but it is a lot of fun. It's a survival, crafting, base building game with some mechanics that I'm not a big fan of, but mainly that there's raids periodically that attack your base. Not a big fan of that kind of stuff. But anyway, the game itself takes place in the setting and fiction of Howard's world, if not the titular character being Conan. Not everybody is Conan, but everybody is Conan in this game. You create your own character, but you basically are a riff off of Conan.
Oh, okay.
So, by Crom. Go punch a camel and it'll fall over. That's what happens in Conan the Barbarian. Anyway, number 5 is Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. It's based on Roadside Picnic by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. Sorry, there you go. This is kind of an unforgiving game when I've tried to watch people play it. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl is actually a lot of fun to watch people play. It has a great story and multiple endings depending on how you play the game. But it is a lot of fun. But I didn't know that it was actually based off of a book called Roadside Picnic.
That's an interesting title.
Yeah. So Stalker 2 makes the list above its classic counterparts as it represents an excellent modernization of the core of the series. It could be argued that the game could still benefit from some polish and refinement. But assuming those upgrades happen over time, Stalker 2 will one day be best in the series. They actually have, the creators of Stalker 2 have this AI-inspired, at least, system where the NPCs, the non-player characters, are actually living life while you're doing your stuff. They're roaming the map and doing tasks and interacting with each other. So when you walk up upon them, they're having a conversation that you can eavesdrop into, and it can give you an idea of something to go and find or do or whatever.
Interesting. So do these NPCs go beyond those in the effed up little man that we were talking about?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's a Stalker 2. Well, let me rephrase this because I need to put a constraint on this. They're intending to release the 2.0 version of it, but it kind of wet the bed when it was launched. And I don't know, because the people that I've watched play this game completed it before the fixes were in for the issues that were showing up in Stalker 2. Number 4 is BioShock. It's inspired by Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, which, I don't know. It remains a classic first-person RPG, with the game equally compelling today as it was at release. Players gain new powers via plasmids, essentially injectable superpowers, and can approach combat in a variety of ways. It's actually a lot of fun to play and to watch people. But go and check it out. Number 3 is Black Myth Wukong, which is based on Journey to the West by Wu Chang'an. It is the mythological history in China. Has a great following. A lot of people think that it should have been Game of the Year, but it lost out.
Yeah, it had a lot of buzz.
Yep. But I don't think that the Journey to the West was in for Wu Chang and this game, because it's an abstracted layer from a large portion of society, which is kind of ironic because the culture is largely insular, right? With a lot of protections in place, but then this seeped out into the public conscious.
Very interesting, isn't it?
And then was expected. Literally, the person who brought this game to the Game Awards literally said, I don't understand why it lost, because everything else sucked, basically. I mean, I'm paraphrasing greatly.
Sure.
But, yeah, it was quite fascinating. The game takes place after Sun Wukong's defeat and enshrinement in stone, and charges the player with the task of recovering the relics that represent Wukong's 6 senses in an attempt to restore him. Then Parasite Eve, which is this really old game from 1998. Hideki Senna. It's based on Parasite Eve, and it's a game called Parasite Eve. And then The Witcher 3 is from the Witcher novels by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is a cult fan favorite. If you've never seen anybody play the Witcher series, then go and watch people. It's everywhere. You can search on YouTube, and you can see people playing it still on Twitch.
Has there been a Witcher movie yet? I know there's been a TV series.
I don't know of any movies. But it's a CD Projekt Red. Some of the people from CD Projekt Red have broken off to create their own thing. There's going to be an announcement tomorrow. I'm hoping that I'll be free to watch it, but I might not be able to, but I'll stream it if I can. It says, unfortunately, most fans become aware of Andrzej Sapkowski's novels, which inspired the Witcher games, via the creator's original disdain for the franchise and legal spats with publisher CD Projekt Red. These days, the relationship between the two is more amicable, thankfully. Basically, there's some new games coming out. There's another series I think is coming out, but The Witcher as Geralt, what happened was the show changed who Geralt was. And I think that kind of wet the bed.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's going to manifest anymore. I stopped watching. But The Witcher is this really neat world building experiment where the Witchers are basically super powered demon hunters, monster killers that stop everything from witches themselves to just horrible critters that are terrorizing countryside. But it is a blast of. It says, much like how the first Witcher book is a collection of almost parable-like tales, the first game focuses on Geralt and the problems he encounters directly. The second and third games introduce more political intrigue and deeper relationships, much like the novels do. Problems Geralt and the other player, or the player, can't control but must deal with, become the foundation of the morally gray world of both the games and the novels and the Witcher's hair. Because when you go through the process, your hair turns gray, apparently.
I mean, it's a nice real life effect, I guess.
As it does, you know. See? Anyway, let's move on. This is our last article for today's WarCrafters. We have like a fivefecta. What do you call a septfecta? All five were actually from WarCrafters. Interesting. Video game song surpasses 100 million streams on Spotify. The song from the soundtrack for the 2016 Doom reboot recently surpassed 100 million streams on the music streaming app Spotify. I've never heard of it. Have you heard of Spotify?
Oh, no. I mean, it's only one of the most major music platforms, at least in the US.
Zachary Camiglio over at GameRant.com or GamerAnt.com. Am I mispronouncing that? GamerAnt?
I think it's Gamerant.
Oh, Gamera NT. That is, I guess it's like a spin-off file system from Windows, from Microsoft, NT.
Exactly. Now, why is this hitting 100 million right now?
I don't know. Let's find out. Maybe they talk about it. BFG Division from 2016's Doom hits 100 million streams on Spotify, a milestone for composer Mick Gordon. Doom has established a lasting legacy in the FPS genre, and its metal-inspired soundtrack remains iconic. Mick Gorgon. I'll say it properly eventually. Mick Gorgon. My God. Mick Gordon's work extends beyond Doom to other FPS franchises such as Wolfenstein and Borderlands. So the only thing I can think of is that it's just continuously being played by people,
right? Because it's just kind of cumulative, but it's quite old. But I guess if the game is still a hit, then that has to do with it, and maybe major streamers are playing it, which perhaps is drawing more attention to it.
But there was a more recent Doom reboot, right? Wasn't there?
There was. So maybe that's what it was. Like maybe something from the current one caused a relook at this.
It wasn't 2016. I thought that there was a new Doom. Huh. Hold on. Let me see if I can find something real quick.
I think one is forthcoming, like in 2025, maybe.
Is it Doom 4? No, that was 2016. Oh my God. Did that much time go by that fast? I thought that there was a Doom like last year.
QuakeCon, they had high def remakes in 2024.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, that must be it.
I think we talked about it in WarCrafters.
And supposedly there was a Doom leak in 2023. Credible leak reveals that a new Doom game is in the works. So, I don't know. Oh, Doom Dark Ages. That's it. That's what right. I keep hearing about. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. It says, in fact, Gordon's career as a composer has spanned numerous first-person shooter franchises, including other titles published under Bethesda, such as Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, which comes from the same developer, id Software. I grew up with all of this. So the original Doom I played. I mean, I used to work in software sales, and I got to play this stuff regularly. So that's where I got my first bite at the apple of software and tech and stuff. So, according to Gordon, his work on Doom Eternal was impeded by corporate guidelines and internal development issues, which led him to feel that he was not up to the quality, that it was not up to the quality of his usual work, and led him to forego returning for the sequel. Yet, hey, the music is still blasting, and it's enshrined in the cultural zeitgeist of gaming. When people think of
I was going to say,
Doom,
when they hear that song, do they think of the game and
yeah,
vice versa?
yeah, because BFG is big effing gun. So there you go, folks. Anyway, that's it for today's WarCrafters. We're going to fire our BFG, and that's going to knock us all the way back to the front page of ohmtown.com and the WarCrafters channel. I am Mayor Watt. I'm signing off, and I'm taking my sentient AI with me. Dun, dun, dun. Well,
That's
you're
right.
voluntarily. Oh, okay. You're voluntarily going, but
Thanks for joining us, Hometown citizens. We'll have another episode of WarCrafters next week, but stay tuned for the rest of our weeklies.
and right after this is going to be Technology Today, which is a deeper dive into technology and science, more likely. But science is tech. See you on the other side. Bye bye.